شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين وصلى اللهم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, and we welcome you once again to our series for this year Ramadan 1445, Reconnecting with the Book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In today's verse, we look at a chapter, Surah Hud, and the Prophet ﷺ described this surah as a surah which caused his hair to become grey. The Prophet ﷺ said, شَيَّبَتْنِ هُودٌ وَأَخَوَاتُهَا, that Surah Hud has caused me to become grey, along with its sister Surah. And so, in this chapter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in verse number 13, أَمْ يَقُولُونَ افْتَرَى قُلْ فَأْتُوا بِعَشَرِ سُوَرٍ مِثْلِهِ مُفْتَرَيَاتٍ وَادْعُوا مَنِ اسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts forth a challenge which proves the miraculous nature of the Quran. And we know that all prophets were given miracles which were suitable for their particular time. Nabi Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was given the miracle of his staff, and with the staff he performed miraculous things at a time when people were very interested in sihr and the likes. Allah Azza wa Jal gave Nabi Musa a true miracle, and that was his staff. With regards to Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the miracle of curing the ill and curing the lepers and giving sight to the blind and even giving life to those who had passed on. And this was all by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because in the time of Nabi Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, the people were concerned about treating those who had diseases and finding cures for it. And so Allah Azza wa Jal gave him a suitable miracle for his time. With regards to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah Azza wa Jal gave him the miracle of the Quran. Since his people, in the time of him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were concerned with eloquence, and this was the main concern of the Arabs. And so Allah Azza wa Jal put forth this challenge to them specifically, but to all of mankind. And Allah Azza wa Jal said, or do they say, He has fabricated this Quran? Say, O Prophet, produce 10 fabricated surahs like it, and seek help from whoever you can, other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if what you claim is true. And so this challenge is put forth to the Arabs in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, because they were an extremely eloquent nation, and they could not achieve this. And Allah Azza wa Jal made clear that they will never ever be able to achieve this. For Allah Azza wa Jal said in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَىٰ عَبْدِنَا فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِّثْلِهِ وَادْعُوا شُهَدَاءَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. That if you are in doubt concerning that which we have revealed to our messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then bring a single surah, the like thereof, and call upon your witnesses if indeed you are truthful. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He puts an end to this challenge, and He says they would never ever be able to achieve this. And Allah Azza wa Jal says, فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا وَلَنْ تَفْعَلُوا فَاتَّقُوا النَّارُ الَّتِي وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ أُعِدَّتْ لِلْكَافِرِينَ. Allah Azza wa Jal says that if you are unable to do this, and you will never ever be able to do this, then fear the punishment of the hellfire. And so Allah Azza wa Jal, He put an end to this challenge in the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so whosoever contemplates upon the miraculous nature of the Quran, from the angle of its formation, in terms of words and eloquence, they will come to the conclusion that this book is a book which was revealed from the Rabb of Alameen. And that the speech which is contained in the Quran, it is unlike the speech of man. Since Allah Azza wa Jal, He has names and He has attributes. And we believe as Muslims that Allah Azza wa Jal, in His names and in His attributes, He is unique and He is unlike His creation. And from amongst the attributes which Allah Azza wa Jal possesses, it is the attribute of Al-Kalam, the attribute of speech. And as Muslims, we believe that this Quran, it is the uncreated word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah Azza wa Jal spoke these words. So like Allah Azza wa Jal is unique in His names and His attributes, Allah Azza wa Jal's speech is unique and it is unlike that of the creation. In the verse which follows, Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَجِيبُوا لَكُمْ فَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّمَا أُنزِلَ بِعِلْمِ اللَّهِ وَأَن لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Allah Azza wa Jal then says, but if your helpers fail you to produce 10 surahs like this, then know that it has been revealed with the knowledge of Allah, and that there is no God worthy of worship except Him. And Allah Azza wa Jal then asks the question, فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Will you then not submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And the Arabs in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they knew that this was not the words of any man, and that this words was the words of the divine, but due to their arrogance and their haughtiness, they failed to submit. And so to anyone out there who has any doubts concerning the final revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we call upon you to read the book with understanding and contemplation. And if you do this, you will come to the conclusion that this book, it is not the speech of man, but rather it is the revelation from the one who is all-wise and all-knowing. نكتفي بهذا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.